am, and then we'll say, hey, this is
Now, welcome back to The Journey's Real. This is episode 6. I'm Mary Ann.
I'm Brittany.
I'm Tammy.
I'm Kim.
I'm Stacy.
And we have a guest with us today, Dennis. Dennis is a 3-time survivor of cancer.
Yes, I am.
Welcome, Dennis. We're glad you're here with us.
I'm glad to be here.
Okay. You going to tell us some things about yourself?
Well, I can, I guess. All right, my journey started in 2012. I had kidney cancer. Actually, what had happened was I was at home, lived with my sister, and I started throwing up, and I couldn't stop, and these pains would come in my stomach so bad it was just, and then it started coming out my rear, and it's like, oh my God, and it went on for an hour. And my sister took me to the hospital, and so they did a bunch of tests on me, and then and about 1 o'clock in the morning, they came in and they said, well, Mr. Womack, you have kidney cancer. We're going to take your kidney out in the morning.
Oh, wow.
That was quick.
Yeah.
And my sister was there sleeping, and I woke her up. I go, you might want to wake up for this. And she goes, what? I said, they said I have cancer, and they're going to take my kidney out in the morning. And she goes, yeah, right. I said, no, it's true. And so that was the first time. And, and they literally did save my life. I mean, I was Dr. Uhlenhuth, I'll never forget him. But then, 4 years later, in 2016, I got bladder cancer, which didn't know nothing about that. All I know is every time I went to the doctor, they stuck this thing up my urethra, which at the time I didn't even know what that was.
Right.
I really didn't. And so I went to they had to do surgery, and I remember going into the surgery, and the nurses are all going, well, they're going to go up your urethra, and I'm like, what is that? They all told me. I said, whoa, hold on. I was like, let me see the tools.
I don't know that I would want to see them all.
You're going to be knocked out anyway. Did they knock you out?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but then, and so after that, then I had to go back, and I'd had to do these treatments where they would shoot some stuff up me, and I'd have to go home and lay on my side for 15 minutes, lay on my stomach 15 minutes, lay on this side 15 minutes, and lay on my back, and I'd have to do that for 2 hours rotating, and couldn't let it come out, and then after 2 hours I could let it out. But then after that I had, I took like 8 treatments of that, and then I had to go back every month, and they don't numb your it's like, okay, here you go. And yeah, I dreaded that. Matter of fact, I gotta go have another one here for long.
Oh, now did they have to remove any of your bladder?
No, they scraped it, and and every time I've been back, it's not came back or nothing. So, but I haven't. I asked my cancer doctor. I said, all the tests that you guys have done on me, do I still need to do that thing?
Yeah, y'all be used to it by now, huh?
Yeah, you'd think. And he said, yeah, you still need to. He said, I'd wait till the COVID's over and then go. But I haven't been yet, so I got that to look forward to. So then, 4 years later, I'm doing everything they tell me to. I'm going to get my scans and all that. And just out of nowhere, it was like, which I was surprised. They said, well, it's in like 4 places now. And I'm like, really? How have we missed this? And I didn't want to accuse nobody or, say anything. I just went on with it. So then they put me on this medicine. They put a port in me, and they gave me this new medicine. And I had, it's kind of like chemo, but you go in there and there's a bunch of people all doing chemo and stuff, and they would give me this medicine. And after the 3rd time, I believe it was, my body had a bad reaction to it, and I went home and couldn't breathe, and I had blood clots in my lungs, and I was in the hospital, had pneumonia, and so many things. I was in the hospital for, I think, 14, 15 days, and lost 35 pounds. which I was glad of that, but,
That's not a good way to go about losing it, though, is it?
but I gained it back, so. But yeah, so, and then, so, after that, when I left that day, I left the hospital, I remember the doctor telling me, he goes, I'm gonna have to put you back on that medicine. And I was like, really? After what it just did to me? And so then I guess they figured out it's just spread too fast and that wasn't gonna help me because chemo and radiation wouldn't have helped me. And so he sent me to several doctors around town and nobody would do the surgery because it was too close to the main artery. So they contacted Cleveland Clinic and they said they'd check me out. So I go up there and they looked at it and they said, yeah, they was going to do it. And I think a robot did it,
Like the cyberknife or
Yeah,
something like
and
that.
yeah, and he must have did a great job because it hadn't came back yet, but that was in June. No, it was in January the 30th of 2020. Yeah. And of course, I had to go on treatments after that, radiation and stuff. And, but then after so many, which that was terrible. I mean, I've been, you just don't know. I can't even say what all happened to me on that deal. But it was bad. But, there was a couple, I can't tell you this. I remember one time they wheeled me downstairs and they pushed me in front of this door that said, nuclear medicine. I was like, So anyhow, they take me inside. There's this nurse in there, and she's got this like a mask, like a breathing treatment or something. And she goes and gets this metal box and opens it up. It's got a lock on it, and she puts it in this mask, and she says, "All right, now you have to breathe this for 15 minutes." And I said, "All right." So I started breathing, and she had walked by, and she goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, you need to keep that close to your face because that could contaminate us." And I'm like, "Really?" It was like, "What's it doing to me?" So yeah, it was an up and down ride. I mean, I've had good doctors and ride the ride out. Cancer is really, you guys just don't know, they've done so much for me. I mean, at one time, when you don't have food or nothing, your pride won't let you ask anybody.
That's right.
And,
Yep.
so, yeah, they really helped me out and I owe them everything.
So when you mentioned radiation and it's like you've been through chemo too. So I'm an 11-year breast cancer survivor and I've shared with the group, I thought chemo was bad. I did 8 rounds of chemo and it kicked my ass. I said, it's bad stuff. It kills you to save your life, but you literally
Yeah.
feel like it's killing you. And then I said, I can't imagine when you mentioned radiation, I said, I can't imagine how it is for other people because it was so, I don't even know how to describe it. Like you said, when you go in this room and like you said, this big metal door opens that says nuclear medicine, then you go in and you have to lay a certain way
Yeah.
every single time. And you're just exposed. Like I was just exposed and nobody was in the room but me. And this huge machine was like, I'd have to focus like on the exit
Mhm.
sign or something to try to take me out of that room. It was very, I thought, oh, after chemotherapy and all this, radiation won't be so bad. No, I hated it. I hated it just as bad, if not more so, than other treatments. So yeah, I could totally relate when you said, yeah, radiation's no picnic.
I'm just, I'm glad I'm on this side of the earth because, when I beat it 3 times. Who could say that?
Right.
Yeah, really 4 if you count this, but I had cancer there. They cut, I don't know, y'all
Oh,
can
you had
see.
skin cancer too?
Yeah, they cut my nose out and everything. That's why my lip curls, but oh well.
So did Elvis, and he didn't have it. So you guys that
Yeah,
way.
oh yeah, that's real
And
nice.
everybody loved Elvis. They thought
I
that lip
remember
curl was sexy.
I was real conscious about it, and I remember we went to Coles, the one that just burned down on Great Lane.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And we was in there and I ordered lunch and the girl ringing me up, she goes, "Oh my God, what happened to your face?" I was like, I could have went another year without hearing that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yes, people can be so,
That's
yeah.
what I got going on with mine.
Yeah. I always felt like, even myself, I didn't get what it was like for people going through cancer till I got it. I was like everyone else and say, when you'd hear about it, oh, I'm so sorry. But there was so much more than what to having cancer than I ever thought people went through. And that's kind of where we started this support group to say, hey, there were times I felt alone. I mean, were you kind of that way? Like,
Oh,
nobody gets what I'm going through.
when they first told me I had cancer, I did it. I broke down and cried.
Mm.
It's, you just, my mother passed away when I was young of lung cancer. So, none of my siblings have been sick. I guess I'm the chosen one. But after the kidney cancer and then I had the bladder cancer and then last year this came back, it just really hit me hard. And it's like, I don't know if I had something to do with me not taking that medicine that they tried to give me at first, but it was just, I mean, I've seen the movie,
Mm.
after keeps coming back, sooner or later it's going to come back and it's going to be over. But, I've prepared myself for that. If it happens, it happens. I'm going to see my mom first.
Yeah. Well, and kudos to you for still fighting because that's a heck of a. I've had that conversation with myself. Now, the longer it gets out, not so much, but I was like, right after treatments and stuff, I was like, if this comes back and they tell me this will just prolong your life, it's not going to get rid of
Yeah.
it. I want to know the percentages because I don't know if I would take chemo and do all the treatments again solely for the reason
Yeah.
of if it's not going to save me, then I'm not going to try. I'm going to enjoy my life versus go out being
That's what my
sick
mother-in-law
and,
did.
and everything. Yeah.
Because it wasn't going
Um,
to save, it was just going to prolong
But
it
I
a
mean, you
couple
don't,
months.
right. Even me saying that, I don't know what my decision would be until I'm ever faced with it. Like you said, I'm
Oh,
sure
if
there were
anybody
times you
really
were like,
knows.
oh, hell no, after what I just went through with the kidneys, I don't want no part of this. But
My
you keep
doctor, I
on fighting.
remember the first PET scan that I took after they said I was cancer free. 3 months later, I had to have a PET scan. I walked in because, of course, I had it today, but they won't tell me till next Tuesday. So when I walked in, he goes, "Well, I got good news. It didn't come back." And I said, "Well, that's wonderful." He goes, "But Dennis, you got to remember," he said, "you got a pattern here. Every 4 years, yours comes back." So I figure I got good till 2024. So I'm going to take
Live it up.
advantage
That's
of
right.
this.
Live it up. Yeah.
It's crazy, but yeah, when you do feel alone and you do feel, people don't know what you feel.
Right.
Half the time I didn't know what I felt.
I was gonna say, I don't think we even know what we feel ourselves.
Mm-mm. Oh, it changes. I mean, I don't know about you, but I was kind of most of the time I was on the up, I was positive, and then I would have my times that I was alone that I just
Yeah.
well, it's like it started sinking in. My mom always said she didn't believe that I was in denial that I was sick, but how sick I was, because I was like, oh, this is all going to be fine. Yet she never saw me at times alone where I sat and was like,
Yeah.
oh
Just
my
bald.
gosh, I have cancer. I have to do chemo. I've lost my hair. And yeah, had those times too.
Well, I notice that sometimes I'll be talking and somebody will be talking back to me and I'm like zoning out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I'm just totally somewhere else. And I thought in the beginning, I've got this, I'm strong, I've got this. And now as it's getting closer to the time of the surgery, I'm thinking, wow, this is a whole lot to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And I just find myself just kind of, going off to other places.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it takes a while for it to sink in if it ever completely sinks in.
Right.
Yours, when you had your surgery for kidney, was was fast. You didn't even have time to,
Yeah, that,
to
yeah.
absorb what you went
It
through.
was at 1 o'clock in the morning when they told me, and, I think at 6 o'clock the next morning they took me in, that's how bad it was.
Yeah,
Wow.
that had to be very scary when you woke up. Oh my gosh,
didn't
I've
give you
only
time to
got one
think about it.
kidney. Yeah, it would be after
I
the
don't
fact.
think I went to bed that night, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah, how could
Yeah.
you sleep trying? I mean, you're fine. Well, not fine. Well, you were fine until you started getting sick. I
Oh,
mean,
man.
like throwing up, and then boom,
That
you're in the
was
hospital,
terrible.
and then boom.
And yeah, here's the story. I can't smell, the sister I live with can't smell. It runs in our family. My sister can't smell, I can't smell, my grandpa couldn't smell. So my sister had some meat in the refrigerator in a plastic container, had a lid on it. Well, I got it out, and I remember going, do you think this is good? One of us can smell. This is the goddamn truth. I remember touching it, and for some reason, I remember putting it on my tongue. Like, what is that doing, you know?
Well, does it taste bad?
And then an hour later, I started having all them cramps and stuff, and I thought, man, I must have food poisoning. And so I told the doctor that, and they still don't know what the pain was.
Wow. So
Yeah.
whatever that was that sent you, whether
Yeah.
it was due to your kidneys or not, like you said, saved your life.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, the doctor told my family, said he had an angel on his shoulder.
Mhm.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not wonderful that you had to go through it, but yeah, I've heard other stories of something funky happens and they go in and then if this hadn't happened, we wouldn't have found this cancer.
I like that doctor too. Huth, I'll never forget that name. And he's the one that did all the scopes on me, you know. And then when I had to go back, and I walked in one day and I said, well, he's not here no more. He retired. And I was like, well, it wasn't but 40 something.
He did enough scopes that he was able to retire.
So then I had a new guy. It's like, oh my gosh. So now I'm going to get all new nurses in here. And I felt like just going out in the lobby going, anybody else in here want to see it?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody else has seen it.
Yeah. You were like, hey, how could he retire? We had an intimate thing going on.
It was
You know,
good,
he was
you
the
know.
only one. I trusted him. You do feel that way about your doctor, and I can imagine you really felt that way about your doctor. Yeah.
I really did.
Yeah.
I was in shock when they said, oh, you're going to have a new guy. I was like, really?
Now, did you have a good support team behind you?
Oh, I had wonderful. You know, when I had, you know, the first time my oldest sister, she was when I had kidney cancer and I took my kidney out. She stayed in the hospital with me. My dad, he's 91 now, so minus whatever that was back then, but he never left the hospital. And then that's when I had this past year and I had to go to Cleveland. My oldest sister, she, you know, she went up there. But I did have my cousin, I have to mention her, Anita Clark. She's a retired nurse, and she went on every doctor's appointment, every, you know, thing I had to do with doctors and stuff. And she would say, well, have you asked him this? And I'd say, no. Well, so when the doctor would come in, she would lock the door behind him. She'd turn her phone on memo and record the whole conversation, you know, which is pretty good. But
It's great to have a nurse in the family. My sister is a nurse, and so is my daughter. And you're right, everything was like, what did they say? And we'd go down through the list, and yeah, because she knew the questions to ask.
She did, yeah, it was great.
And
you
explain
know.
it in terms we can understand.
Yeah, there you go. That's what it was. Exactly. We leave there. I'm like, what did he say? It was fun.
Could you translate, please? Because I don't
Uh-huh.
get it. Yeah.
I did have a good time with her. I got to go to Jack's Casino, and we went to Wahlburgers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was
I
pretty
want to
neat.
go
Yeah.
there. Everybody talks about that place.
It was delicious.
Wasn't
They
it
got
Really
chicken, or is it just
I think
hamburger?
it's just hamburger, but I don't know. We had a hamburger, and it was delicious.
Wasn't that where, was that in, Myrtle Beach? or
Yeah, we
something?
tried, but they had it closed down. They was doing construction.
Yeah. I've heard that's good.
Yeah.
burgers,
Yeah, and I've heard the Cleveland Clinic is amazing too, though.
Oh, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to cut on our hospitals or nothing, but they're just so organized. I mean, you know, it's so big, you couldn't imagine. It's blocks and blocks, you know,
Wow.
and they're just so organized, you know, it's like clockwork.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you got a 2:30 appointment, you're in there at 2:30, you
Wow,
know?
that's great.
I've said
Yeah.
that before about when it's good and it's not so good about if you have cancer, how quick things go. Like you don't go into the point in the oncologist and wait for hours to be seen. You go in, it's boom, boom, boom. The surgeons are kind of the same way. It's like, well, I feel like the first time I was like, I feel like a VIP, and then I was like, this is not a good thing to be a VIP.
No.
Yeah.
So did your doctors explain everything to you and explain like the treatments and?
Yeah, oh yeah, they all did. You know, my doctor here, Dr. Regavan, he's my cancer doctor.
That's my
Yeah,
dad's doctor.
it is. I love him. He's wonderful. He's really taking care of me, and he, you know, of course he'd always say, "Oh, you're gonna be fine." You know, but yeah, I really liked him. But all the doctors were good, you know.
Oncologists are special kind of doctors and they're nurses and they're, I've yet to hear anybody say, oh, my oncologist didn't have a good bedside
Yeah.
manner or whatever. They're all very compassionate. Most of them that
Oh yeah,
have dealt
he
with the
was good.
doctors. Yeah.
Only thing I don't like is the doctors don't talk to each other like other facility doctors, like a surgeon and a
Yeah.
cancer doctor.
Now mine had like a circle that they would meet each week.
Really?
The surgeons and and the network that they were in, the oncologist and the surgeons and all.
I've
They
been
talk
having to call both facilities to try to figure out what is better, the MRI or the CT scan.
God, if I
I've
have to
been
take another
dealing with that
MRI,
all
I'm
day
gonna,
today.
I hate
Really?
it.
Yes, it's been horrible.
No,
The
my-
experience
My
for me.
surgeon and my plastic surgeon, I mean, they weekly, they go through each other, so.
One doctor says MRI for my dad, the other one says CT scan. Because the surgeons can read the CT
I
scan
think the CT's
better
a
than the
better
MRI.
scan.
They're
And the
better for
cancer
the
wants the
patient.
MRI.
Yeah, it's a lot
so-
better.
Yeah.
You know, when I was
I mean,
younger,
I
it
would
wasn't
go
no
with the
big
oncologist.
deal, but now it's like, I don't want to go back in that tunnel.
See, that's me too.
I'm
I never
claustrophobic,
felt,
I can't.
I never felt claustrophobic until I got an MRI. And
Watch
then
the
it's
people.
like,
Yeah.
I
Tony.
can just think about it even when I don't
People.
have to go in. I can lay in bed at night and go to sleep and I get thinking about it. I'm like, stop thinking about it.
That's terrible.
Yeah, thank goodness for some Ativan or something they can give you. I remember the first one I couldn't do it and I cried and they're like, no, this happens all the time. I was like, you're just being nice. They're like, no, really, it happens all the time. There's lots of people
I
that
can't
deal with
do
it going,
MRIs at all.
Yeah.
Nope. I have to.
Yeah,
be
I'll tell them,
Really?
I'll give me CT, contrast, I don't care, anything but the MRI.
yeah, me too. Me too. So did they say that your bladder cancer, was it kidney cancer that had spread? Or they got rid of the kidney cancer and then you got
You know,
bladder
that's a
cancer?
good question. I never really thought about it till just now.
Yeah, because I know that they've
I
like
don't know.
with now I'm free from breast cancer now, but like I guess if it came back and it say went to my lungs or to lymph nodes or to my brain, they would say it's breast cancer that is spread. It's metastasized. So that's why I was wondering with your
They never
kidneys
said
being it was
that.
all kind of in the same area. What did they like? But they removed your kidney, so you would think that
Yeah.
would be it. It would be gone and it couldn't spread. But
But they didn't remove all the cancer the first time when they removed
Oh.
my kidney. Because it came back right there on my adrenal gland. Your kidney
Mhm.
sits on top of your adrenal gland.
And the adrenal gland goes through like you're everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have just a half of one over here, and I have to take this medicine every day the rest of my life. So just to be normal, I guess. I don't know.
Then you have to just get rechecked every year.
Right now, every 3 months, I have to go take PET scan.
And then how long, if that comes back good, how long after that?
I don't know.
Probably have
I
to
guess
do
you don't
3
ask
months
questions,
every-
do you?
If I can get past 2024, I feel pretty good.
Yeah, 2024 comes out clear, you're good to go.
Well, we appreciate having you on here and you sharing.
Yeah,
your
Yeah,
story.
Oh,
absolutely.
you know, like I say, John and Sheila has been nothing but angels to me. You know?
Well,
They are
Ride to
angels.
Ride Out Cancer, I mean, that's what the organization's set up to do. It's to help people with, things that they need help with if they're actively going through cancer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, I remember when, after I said this organization's dear to my heart, I didn't know anything about Ride to Ride Out when I was going through treatments, but I remember after I got through treatments and had been off work for quite a while, and I didn't know when I would be feeling well to be released to go back to work. I'll never forget the day I stood in my kitchen crying to my mom saying, God got me through this just to watch me lose everything, my house, everything. I was fortunate enough that my grandmother and my parents were able
You're right.
to pay some house payments and whatever to keep me going, exactly what Ride to Ride Out does. And when I
They
heard
were-
of this organization and that's what they do, I did. I walked to John and said, this, you have no idea, me being a cancer survivor, how much this means to me, to do this, to
Yeah.
be a part of this organization.
Well, I'm getting
so.
back on my feet, and I'm going to play my part in this. You know, I haven't up to this point, but you know, things are looking better, and so I want to be a part of it and
Well-
participate in some of the stuff you guys do. And
That would be awesome.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, now you know this is a crazy bunch to be around,
I'm-
right?
y'all don't know me.
I
I'm
think that
crazy.
you fit right in.
The thing that, I think is the most important is the fact that when John set up Ride to Ride Out Cancer, 100% nonprofit,
Oh yeah.
and that's the best.
And you
the
know,
best
and I
thing
know
ever.
daggone good and well, they have probably used their own money to do
Sure.
some
Oh,
of this.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
You know.
I know all of us at Christmas time when we did the bikes for the children that were cancer survivors or,
And their siblings.
and their
Yeah.
siblings, the children in
They
need.
put money up to get bikes and,
Yeah.
Right.
And gas to go hunt the bikes.
yes, to drive all over here.
All the miles.
Yes.
And now we're gonna have this Cancer Fest in September, which is gonna be
Oh,
amazing.
really?
And our
Where's
last,
that?
our last Cancer Fest was awesome.
It's gonna be at
That
the Government Center here in Hillview again.
It's September 19th.
Nope, September 11th.
11th.
Oh,
Yeah.
September 11th.
Yeah. September 11th.
Make something good out of September 11th.
Yeah.
We're
Hope
gonna
I
have
can-
plenty of bands and food and.
It was
fair
huge last
food.
year.
Car
It's
show, chili cook-off,
It was a great
raffles.
turnout.
Mm-hmm.
John had to cut his hair.
Yeah.
Yes.
You gonna cut your hair again?
Yes,
Huge.
he made 1,700.
Huge,
And they
car
just
show.
did a podcast the other night, and there was the person on the podcast that was saying, on your car and motorcycle show, also add Jeeps because people that own Jeeps,
Oh,
Yeah,
Jeep
yes.
clubs.
huge.
Yes,
Yeah.
they
a huge
are.
part
Yeah.
of
They
that.
travel everywhere.
And
Yeah.
they'll come from everywhere. So
Yeah, so we can't imagine because last year we winged it.
Yeah.
And just
Well,
probably
that was
for
our
the
first
best.
time.
Yeah, our
And it
first
worked out.
time,
It turned out
and
good.
it turned out amazing. And yeah, we're so excited to make Cancer Fest bigger and better this year. So we need all the
I
help we
will
can
be
get,
there.
Dennis. Come
Yeah.
on.
even just to show up and show
Oh,
your
I'll
support.
be there.
Yes.
And talk about
And speaking of sponsorships, we'd like to give a shout out to Louisville Harley Davidson and BMW of Louisville. Those are our
Hey.
sponsors for the week.
They were Louisville Harley Davidson was at Cancer Fest last year.
Yes,
Yeah, they
yes.
were.
They were selling T-shirts and brought a few
I bought
bikes.
one.
You did, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. They were.
And then also tomorrow night is our Queen of Hearts draw at Danny's place located at 2858 Kentucky 44 Shepherdsville. And we start at 6 o'clock and the tickets are $2 a piece. We draw at 8 o'clock. Our amount right now is what, 10,416,
Yep.
and the payout of that is going to be $5,208.
Yeah, Dennis,
That's
you
just
need
what
to
it is
come buy
right
some
now.
tickets.
It's
Look,
going
he's
up.
reaching in
I
his
got my wallet here.
Yes, it's going up because
It'll be. We're thinking 11,000.
yeah, we still
easy
have
by
like 22
tomorrow
tickets.
night.
I mean, 22 cards left on the
Yeah.
board.
Yeah.
So it's getting close. We want to build it to the
It's a good
last card.
jackpot.
You
Oh,
can
yeah.
buy your tickets on PayPal, which is paypal.me/Queen of Hearts Ride to Ride Out Cancer.
Can you buy them here?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
and
Yes.
online, so make sure you.
You'll
get
need to
those
come out
tickets.
tomorrow night and help us build that pot.
Yeah.
You can
And
take
shout
home.
out to Danny's place. They got a really good bacon cheeseburger. We've all discovered a really good bacon cheeseburger
gotta do
here.
yours.
So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is The Journey's Real Ride to Ride Out Cancer.
And also, I think who is our guest next week? Did
Oh, we just.
anybody see who that was? Oh, it's gonna be Jan from Ride to Ride Out Cancer.
Janet Matthews.
Janet Matthews. Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay. Janet Matthews.
Sis.
And once again, we really appreciate you, Donna.
Yeah,
I
Dennis,
will.
it's
I'm
been a
glad to be here.
pleasure.
I've had a good
Yes.
time.
Thanks for sharing all that information.
Yes.
and-
Yeah.
Cameras didn't bother me a bit.
No,
That's
we'll
good.
definitely keep you in our thoughts and prayers and hope to
Yes.
see you at some of the Ride to Ride
Yeah.
Out events.
And I'm sure your journey is helping somebody else that wants
Exactly.
to. So.
Yeah, they
I
do.
hope, I mean, you know, hope is all we have.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
It's nice to hear it from a gentleman because I'm sure people probably get tired of us ladies chitter chattering about our boobs and all this business. So
But call in and, we have our number at the bottom of the screen. Call in and update us on how you're doing too.
I can call in while y'all shows on.
Yeah.
on
Oh, okay.
Tuesday night, yeah, please
Yeah,
do.
if anybody can
Tuesday.
I
call
go
in.
next Tuesday to get my results, so.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely
good.
call us.
Yeah.
yeah.
Make sure you call us and tell us the
Uh,
results.
Will I be on
We can
this
give you the
speaker?
phone
Yep.
number.
The number is 502-909-0136.
I'll get it
Yeah.
from John.
Yeah, we'll give you
Before
it.
you leave.
Sure.
But we're every Tuesday at 7:30.
Yes.
So
Just watch us.
Yeah, I'm like,
Anybody
Call
out there
us,
can
yeah.
call
I'm
us.
like,
Watch us,
sneak
call
in
us.
and watch the next one next Tuesday.
Yeah,
You never
please
know.
do.
Watch them all. We have fun.
We
Try
do.
to anyway.
So we will see you next
What is
week
it, 1, 2, 3?
on
Oh,
Journey's
what?
Real. And what do we say at the end of it? In
1,
3, 2, 3.
Fuck cancer!